Alright, well this is what the bike looks like on the rack and everything. You got, I just put that on there just to see what it's going to look like and how it's going to be bouncing and stuff. I mean, it is what it is. I'll have to probably push this bike all the way up against this area here and whatnot, just so that way it's got more room, because my frame actually comes more straight like a speed bike does. So we'll get that on there, and I'll see if I'll probably get a smaller sport rack deal, because right now I got it stretched out to where this is pushing all the way against this way and this one's pushing all the way against that way, but there is still no locking mechanism to where I don't know if this would actually slide or not. And this is a little loose in here. You still got some wiggle room there. So I mean, it's still going to be bouncing around and whatnot. Up here in the front, that's pretty tight. I mean, well, it is loose there. I got it as tight as it'll go. But just don't know until we actually try it. I was messing with this lever that raises and lowers the bike and whatnot, and it actually works out pretty cool. Let's have to hold on to it. Oh, since I got it to where it's all tied up, the bike's not falling down. You'd have to loosen up that blue strap right quick. Raising it back up, we'll just loosen that off. Okay, we'll lower it back now. So it does kind of land back on its feet and then whatnot. I just picked up the bike and just slid it all the way across there. So that was kind of a fiasco. But we'll see how it is unloading and loading this way. Alrighty, well this bolt threads into this receiver hitch, but I hate to say this, over time what's going to happen is this thing's going to be doing this number. Even if you did get that really tight and whatnot, you're not always going to be checking this thing out. I mean, if you're going like 50 miles, 60 miles down the road, it's like that eventually might wear out. I don't know why they went with this instead of like the quick Carter key because of thieving. But it's like they make them to where they have the locks on the other side where the Carter key goes. So I don't know if I want to drill this hole out completely and then just use a regular Carter key thing and not have to worry about it, or if they make an adapter deal. But anyways, we'll figure it out later. Well, we got it tightened with this wrench that it came with. What it does is that it pulls it away from this side to where you got this gap here, and I just don't know about it. I mean, I just wish they wouldn't went with the Carter key on there. Yeah, it probably takes a lot of that bouncing up and down on it and stuff like that, but for my own safety reasons, I'm a farm kid, and I hate to say it, I over torque things or under torque things according to some manufacturing ordeals, and I like to use Loctite. So if I'm going to make this a permanent deal, I might just get me another receiver hitch that comes out and then just have it to where it goes Carter keys in there, and then just attach this one to an in and out type pin system to where, I hate to say it, that's a lot of wiggle room in there. And that way on that other hitch that's going to go into here, I can always put in 2 screws in there. And that way it's double bolted. And that way I really won't have to worry about it, instead of just one bolt. Alrighty. They do have a security lock threaded bolt thing that goes all the way through to the other side that can lock it on there. But that is purchased separately. I just don't know. I just wish it had a quick pin snap lock thing to where you just can quickly unpin it or pin it in. if you want to, instead of this thread and stuff, because to me that's a wear spot. But oh well. If you are gonna go with this bicycle rack where it goes into the tail hitch, I would definitely get a 12-inch extension. I got this one at Walmart. You can get them at your local hardware stores, you can get them off the internet, but this is a 12-inch 2-inch extension. And what the neat thing about this is, if you had your bikes like all up in this area and you couldn't lower them down because you'd have to unload them, you can still lower down the tailgate and whatnot, and you still have plenty of clearance there. Yeah, you can't use your little step ladder and stuff. You're just gonna have to step up here on the bumper and pull yourself up, or you can always still use this handle here if you needed to get up in your bed of your truck. But if you're gonna go the bolt route, and their lock mechanism is a threaded bolt with a lock on the other side. I haven't got a lock here. What I'm gonna do is go to my local hardware store, get me a bolt that's all the way threaded through, and then put a lock washer and a nut on this back side here, and just tighten it down really good, so that way this will go in my other vehicle. I'll have to get me an adapter plate because mine's a 2.5-inch receiver, and it will fit in there. I just wanted to make it to where I'm not always having to sit here and mess with this nut all the time, on and off, on and off. So that's what I'd recommend. It is a little bit more wobblier, with that being said. So I mean, could I always shim that? Yeah, I could always add something in there to make it, you know, hold up a little bit better, put some metal in there, but it's going to be harder to pull it in and out if I did that. So is this the best extension on the market? Probably not. There's probably better quality extensions to where they don't have that sway and stuff like that. The truck is kind of moving, but not that much. But I don't think it's going to be that bad on there. And what I've learned is, if you're going to get this rack, if you was going to get this rack and you did want to put your 4 bikes on here, what I've learned is you definitely want one of these that attaches to your seat, handlebars, or vice versa, however you want to load up these bikes, because you can always put your handlebars in here, lock that up, unlock this here, then raise it up with your seat, then lock it down. That is the most easiest way that I've learned on how to deal with this type of setup. I am going to go with a different rack here, but I'm going to test it out on my large bike whenever I get it back from the shop, just to see if my large bike fits it. But if you have a small or an extra small frame, do not get the sports rack, because it will not really secure your bike down. When I talked to those guys, there's one that's $45. This one I believe was $35 at Dick's Sporting Goods. So I mean, for the extra $10, maybe that one might be better, but I'm going to get the two and we'll do a comparison video on that whenever I do get them. But anyways, I think that's about enough about this bicycle rack. Thanks.